you would not actually want to be in the same room with necessarily. I mean, he's fun to watch on TV, but if he really was in the room with you, the guy's like 7.5 feet tall, never wears a shirt, ever. And if he does, he at least doesn't wear an undershirt. He's like, I wore my jacket today. And he sparkles for He is the voice that has been passed down the Armstrong line for generations. Really awkward dude. And he was a really fun voice to play. Come in. It was a really fun voice. The only thing that sucks about playing like a comic relief character is that you don't always get to understand what's going on in the show. Because as far as I'm concerned, Full Metal Alchemist is about a dude who never wears a shirt, who loves these two little guys so much, and he thinks they're like his brothers or something, and he likes to hug them a lot, and then he gets his feelings hurt because he finds out something horrible, and then goes for the rest of the show. Because he kind of disappears by the end. It's really awkward. Let's see. Not in Brotherhood, though. Thank goodness. I did so much more work on Armstrong and Brotherhood. Did you guys like that show?
Yeah!
The show's a good show. I mean, seriously. It's kind of awesome that show is so popular. Mostly because it is such a darn good show, though. Like, it'd be different if it was just you like it because it was stupid or something. I don't know why. Like, you know, Jersey Shore or something like that. But this show is, like, genuinely awesome. Okay, and then there was a time in Funimation's history where we were looking at the show, and nobody could, like, I know the executives were trying to decide whether they wanted to do it or not, so we recorded this, a test episode of this show, and I played a character called Helmeppo. I know, everyone's like, the brakes are put on, like, wait a minute, I know that name, but you don't play that guy in the show. Turns out we did one episode of the show called One Piece. Yeah. But for whatever reason, I guess I can understand their ideology at the time. I don't know what the real reason was, whether it was money or whether it was time or effort or, I don't know, hurt feelings or, I don't know, someone dated somebody or, I don't know. For whatever reason, Funimation didn't pick it up. And it very well could have been in the first few episodes, there's like a 10-year-old kid getting shot at, and hit by bullets and then bouncing them back off, which you may think is perfectly fine, but the people who dictate what's on TV think is a little bit weird. They don't like repeatable violence or something like that. So for some reason, I don't like people pointing guns at kids on TV. So they didn't pick that up. But later on, after the show went north, or south, as some may say, it came back down to Funimation. I got the role of this guy that I always wanted to play since the first time I saw him. I was really pissed I didn't get the role the first time. This guy's name is Zorro. Yeah. The thing I love the most about playing Zorro is I don't ever have to say my full name. Everybody else does, but Roronooro Zorro is the hardest name of all time to say. It's really hard. Like, I challenge you to say it. I know, that was a really cool Wallace session. You sounded like whenever they portray cops in South Park, like, rah, rah, rah. So that's awesome. I've been on lots of other fun stuff too. My favorite show I'm on right now is called Sergeant Frog. Yeah! I love that show. My relatives love that show. Everybody loves the show, and my wife is pregnant, and it's probably going to be one of the few shows I actually do play for my kid, like right off the bat. That'll be just one of those shows that just kind of runs on a loop a little bit, because it's totally harmless. Like, for something that you actually get it, because the humor in that show is not as unusual as it is in some other Japanese comedies that I don't get at all. Come in. We're closed. All right, sorry. That's an awesome show. I worked on Tsubasa Chronicles.
Yeah! Kurgi!
I was Kurger burger in that show? I mean Kuropu, I mean Kurogane. Or Kurogane, or whatever you want to say. Or origami, or whatever you call it. And that show, of all the shows I've worked on, has, I think, one of the best soundtracks of all.
Yes.
It's really beautiful. Oh, he's, this is for our religious seminar.
What in the house?
We're going to be burning that here.
Oh God.
Nothing to be afraid of. Actually, have any of you had the, I mean, not that you guys would actually do this, but have you all been at your room at all and watched any of the History Channel? Because they've been doing these really crazy dramatic documentaries on like gangs all weekend. A lot of it was these like white supremacist gangs. It was really funny because I think they were, in a way, they were almost trying to like show how horrible and yet how hysterical the white supremacists were. Because they would go, he made his most evil deed yet. He robbed a Burger King. They go, and they always had a silly name. It's like, his name was like Warren Pinkytown or something. And no wonder they were angry. And my wife looked at me and she's like, see, that's why we're not going to use any of your baby names. And I really am shooting to try, I want my baby's middle name to be Mathria, M-A-3-A. Do any of you guys know where that's from? Sweet. It's from a Tron video game, like an old one, like Tron 2.0. But she doesn't like it for some reason. She also doesn't like the idea that we would have to test the Texas like family code in order to actually name a kid with a numeral in it. Like, I want to do it, but you know, guys, this is my wife we're talking about here. Like, I've lost already. She has a baby in her stomach. She has an excuse for everything right now. She wanted this baby so bad, and yet everyone's like, oh, I can't believe you're making her hold her own bag. Oh, she's all pregnant. You should be rubbing her feet every 15 seconds. And this is an anime panel, yes. All right, so, wow, I've wasted a lot of time. Let's start with some Q's and A's. If you guys have some Q's, I'll be an A. Yes.
I was wondering, when you do Dragon Ball Z, do you do any prep work before you do the screaming and the yelling and the Super Saiyan, and then do you still do lines afterwards, still, after you do all of that?
I just take a sensu bean right now. I snort a couple sensu beans beforehand. It works faster. No, there's actually before the Dragon Ball sessions, I will usually call somebody, like whether it's my mom. I don't think she knows this or not, but a lot of the time, half the time, I'm really calling her just to kind of warm my voice up and to warm my ears up too, because she speaks really loudly. But yeah, she. I actually will sometimes kind of walk around just the office going, ah, 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 a little bit for it. And you will always know if I've recorded long stints of Vegeta, because I actually am pissed when I walk out. Like, and you can't help it. It's not like when I record on Sergeant Frog, I'm always in a good mood. I want to tickle people or whatever. But when I leave the booth and I voice Vegeta, I'm usually covered in sweat. I feel disgusting. My voice hurts. I feel like I've been punched in the groin. And I am an angry person. I really am. Like I just have to go home and do something sweet, like play Call of Duty or something. But yeah, there's no real method for it. I think that back in the day, I was just kind of really stupid lucky that I didn't screw my voice up. I mentioned I was in an astronomy class, but what I didn't mention is I was in school for opera at the time, and taking this job as a screaming anime voice actor was pretty much the decision that stopped that whole career path. No, believe me, it was great.